Ha ha! What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the latest edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show, coming at you at the very least 3 times a week over the digital airwaves of YouTube. As I'm usually doing these days, I'm on the road in yet a latest glorious studio inside of Los Angeles, California, Tinseltown, the city of angels, call it whatever you want. I usually sit up there and take a moment to thank all of you guys for the love and support you've been giving me. My followers have now exceeded 446,000 over the first 9 months. So thank you for the love and support. I got a lot to get into, and I'll get into a whole bunch of stuff in just a second. You didn't hear the music starting off the show, damn it, because I don't have any right now, because I'm not satisfied with the music that I had, and I want to upgrade just a little bit right there. That's just what I wanted to do. So in the days to come, you'll see some music. You'll see an additional code open like I like to do for my shows. But for right now, I'm going to get right into it because I got a whole bunch of stuff to get to, and I got an NBA countdown to do tonight on ABC. So I don't have much time. So I got to get right to it. Let me start with some NBA action by getting into the Golden State Warriors. I don't know if y'all missed it, but they're below average. They're 16-17. They're the 11th seed in the Western Conference. They're a half game behind the Los Angeles Lakers for the 10th seed. And you know you got to be one of the top 10 teams in a conference to even be eligible to be in a play-in tournament. Now, this is a 4-time champion that I'm talking about here, meaning Steph Curry, meaning Klay Thompson, meaning the now suspended Draymond Green. And I'm looking at the Golden State Warriors and especially Coach Steve Kerr right now. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? I don't understand it. But I think I'm getting more clarity on all of this, okay? The point that I'm trying to make to you is this. When you look at the Golden State Warriors right now, I'm seeing a guy in Steph Curry that every time I see his name and every time I watch this brother play, I want to give my condolences. It's like a damn epitaph is being written about him. Because this brother is averaging 27.6 points per game. Clearly still one of the elite players in the game. Clearly the greatest shooter that God ever created, okay? And after last season and the season before that when he actually won the championship, at age 35, what is this brother doing? What is he doing exactly? He's shooting 45% from the field. He's shooting 41% from three-point range. He's averaging 27.6 points, 4.4 rebounds, 4.6 assists per game. Where's everybody else at? I could bring up Klay Thompson, but he's been getting a bit better. He's shooting 37.7% from the field, even though I'm accustomed to seeing him shoot better than 40% from three-point range. But that's neither here nor there. He's only shooting 42% from the field. He could do better. He's averaging 16.7 points. I expected better, but I still believe in Klay Thompson. And I'm still here to say that the epitaph shouldn't be written on the Golden State Warriors because when Klay Thompson and Steph Curry are hot together, look the hell out. Very few people are beating them when they are hot together. Make no mistake about that. So that's how I view the Golden State Warriors. But I'm going to take it a step further. And I'm going to look at Steve Kerr. I'm going to look at Steve Kerr and I'm going to ask, what about Jonathan Kuminga? He's been developing. He's getting better. He's averaging 12.7 points per game. What about this guy, Podziemski? What about him? You've got some young talent. What about the development of Moses Moody, who I'm still waiting for? The brother plays on both ends of the floor, can shoot, can defend. Somehow, some way, he's only giving you 18 minutes a night. At some point in time, we've got to point to the lack of player development. I'm talking about expediting the process. Kuminga and Moody have been on the squad for a while. He's a rookie. But when you look at the Golden State Warriors and you know anything about Joe Lacob, he's not trying to stand still. And then recently we heard Steph Curry commenting. What did Steph Curry say? Because he was asked about his team. And he said, quote, you don't want to be chasing a playoff berth without some kind of safety net in the standings. Curry, according to reports, inferred that a team probably just isn't good if it is still under 500 come January 1st. He said this before the turn of the new year. And the key word there is inferred because he didn't say that specifically. I quoted you on what he said, but we're allowed to deduce that 1 + 1 = 2, damn it. And that's what he basically was saying in a lot of people's eyes. Well, let's quote Coach Steve Kerr and new GM Mike Dunleavy Jr. directly. Let's quote him directly. Steve Kerr, you're 32 games in, which was before they lost and won over the last 2 games, and obviously they're 16-17 now, before they won the last game in Orlando, actually. He said, you're 32 games in. You're not quite at the halfway point, but you have a pretty good sense of where you stand in the league. We are not where we want to be. That is what Steve Kerr said. You're Mike Dunleavy Jr., who succeeded Bob Myers, my compatriot now, my partner in crime on NBA Countdown for ABC. What does he say? Our record is going to have to change. We're going to have to creep past 500 and start winning some games. And if not, we'll have to reevaluate. Let me tell you what that word reevaluate means. It means somebody's going to have to go. It means as the trading deadline approaches in February, consideration has to be given to making a change. It means once this summer rolls around, there definitely has to be change. Could that mean Klay Thompson? Could that mean Draymond Green? I think that if it is any of those guys, I think it has to be one of the young boys that you're going to take with you, either Kuminga or Moody or somebody. It's going to have to be in order for you to get equitable compensation in return. Now, here's what I'm thinking. Draymond Green, obviously, he's got issues to deal with, and we understand that. I'm wishing the brother nothing but the best. I love the brother. You ain't going to get me to say anything bad about Draymond Green. Has he made mistakes? Absolutely. Should he be held accountable for those mistakes? Absolutely. But the man's a 4-time champion. And when he's not on the court with them, they ain't the same team. When he is on the court with them, they're a much better team than they are without him. His defense, his playmaking ability, the synergy that he has with both Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, I don't think that can be ignored. And I ain't sleeping on Draymond by one second. Klay Thompson is a different matter only in this regard. The nasty injuries, the ACL, the Achilles that he incurred that forced him to miss 2 years. Some people would say he's never looked the same. I say it doesn't really matter that much because when you can shoot, you can shoot. And as long as he's making those shots, that's fine. He may not be able to gain the level of separation that he once could, but in the end, he's still a better shooter than most people on the planet in the history of the game. I think Klay Thompson at his best is a top 5 shooter in the history of basketball. He's a surefire first ballot future Hall of Famer without question. But that doesn't mean this situation is going to continue to be ideal for him. And if Klay Thompson is going to go anywhere, to me, there's only one perfect destination for him. I say 2, I apologize. 2. That would be the Los Angeles Lakers with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Because let me tell you something right now, I don't give a damn how Klay Thompson look. In his sleep, he's better than most of the people we see shooting for the Los Angeles Lakers. Okay? They so bad at shooting. Some people should argue. Some people they should shoot themselves. That's how damn bad they are shooting the damn basketball at times. I'm not talking about LeBron and AD. I'm talking about everybody else. I don't care how much I was riding AD. I'm not blind. The dude is a defensive player of the year candidate. He's walking around averaging 25 and 12. He's clearly looked like the best player on the Los Angeles Lakers half the nights, the other half belonging to LeBron James. And he's fulfilling his obligation to that franchise because he's on the court. He's only missed a couple of games. I thought I would win the bet with Club Shay Shay himself, Shannon Sharp, by swearing that Anthony Davis was going to miss 17, 18 games by Valentine's Day. Clearly, I was wrong. Because unless something catastrophic happens, which I am not wishing for, Anthony Davis is going to make sure that Shannon Sharp wins that bet with me. Fair enough. I'm happy because when the Lakers are winning, it keeps me in L.A. It keeps times in L.A. interesting, which works for me. But the rest of these dudes, these bandits, half of them stealing money from Jeannie Buss, something's got to give. Klay Thompson in a Los Angeles Laker uniform is special. I don't care what anybody say. You got to deal with LeBron and AD. Klay Thompson's going to get some open shots. You got to deal with them brothers. Klay Thompson's going to get some open shots. And remember, he don't need much room. And he don't need much space. And he don't need much time because the release is quick. Him playing with those guys, with his shooting prowess, oh, that would be special. There's only one other place that would be arguably as sufficient for Klay Thompson. And that would be the Philadelphia 76ers. Klay Thompson with Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Damn, I can't figure out which one I want to win more. I'll say the Lakers, though. Father's Michael Thompson. Does radio color commentary for Laker games. All right. Won a championship with the Los Angeles Lakers. Won a couple of them. And on top of it all, that's, Klay Thompson's familiar with that area of the country. He was raised. That brother loved Los Angeles. If he can't be in Golden State, that's the place for him to be. Plain and simple. But the Warriors got to do something. And I just wanted to say that. 2 for 1 or, 1 for or 3 for 1 trade, something like that. You got to do something. But Andrew Wiggins is another name I can't escape. You see, Andrew Wiggins has validated why I don't particularly like him so much as a basketball player. This is a former number 1 overall pick in the NBA, drafted number 1 overall in 2014. The brother could have been the MVP of the finals when they beat Boston a couple of years back. So this is not an indictment against his ability. But on far too many occasions, he's walking around like he's comatose. Like a damn zombie. The other night against Orlando, they won a game. He scores 10 points. You see the game Andrew Wiggins has on him? What possible excuse could you have for scoring 10 points? What possible excuse could you have for averaging 12.7 points per game, particularly with Draymond out? Don't they need you to step up? Last year, he missed a whole bunch of games because of personal reasons. Ladies and gentlemen, let me say this. And I ain't getting into his personal business. That's his business to tell. But what I will tell you is this. I'm one of those guys, and I'm going to say this, and it's going to ruffle people the wrong way, but so be it. I'm highly sensitive to anybody with any kind of personal issues. Mental, emotional, physical, family issues. I get it. But I got this little philosophy, and I'm looking at one of my employees, Sherry, here. I'm saying this. Not to direct it at her, because I'm just talking to my sister here. Yes, she's a sister. Whatever problems you have, if you're mindful and cognizant enough to make sure the checks in the bank account, shouldn't you be equally mindful enough to show up to work, to justify? I don't recall the Golden State Warriors taking back the money they were paying Andrew Wiggins when he missed them damn games last year. He wasn't Klay Thompson that tore his Achilles and the ACL back-to-back years, not necessarily in that order. He wasn't some Steph Curry from years ago with the foot injuries. How the hell you I'm going through it. So I can't show up to work, but you can damn sure go to the bank to make sure the money's in the account. You can damn sure order Uber Eats and make sure you eating and all of this other stuff. I mean, come on, y'all. Come on. Golden State's got to get it together. That's all I want to say. Too much stuff has been tolerated. A lot of times it's been by Steve Kerr. I respect Steve Kerr, but I don't always agree with him, and I'll just leave it at that. But that's all I wanted to say about that. That's really all I want to say about that. Golden State Warriors got to get together because basketball is more fun to watch when Steph Curry and Klay Thompson are relevant. And Draymond Green. When they're relevant, basketball is more fun to watch. I truly, truly believe that. Draymond Green, nothing but the best for you, my brother. Hurry up, bro. Get the hell back. Adam Silver, y'all connect with him. Find out what progress he's making. Get the hell back. Because basketball needs all of them. We need the Golden State Warriors relevant. But not as much as we used to. And I'll explain in a few minutes what I mean by that. Because you'll be very surprised. As much as I want to see the Golden State Warriors, I can't knock people who are not going to miss them that much because of other stuff percolating within the Western Conference. Just stick around. I'll get back to that in a second. Let me transition, however, to football because I'm kind of sick. All of this noise about the Chicago Bears, who've secured the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft. Okay? I think it's April. All right? Chicago Bears suck. Can we get that out the way? They suck. I don't give a damn about how much they've won the last 5 games. If you spent the vast majority of the time stinking up the joint, and then all of a sudden, when the season is dead and gone, suddenly you're going to tinker towards relevancy. I'm not sold. Eberflus. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing his name right. I hope I am. But they haven't been that damn impressive. Okay, DJ Moore's a stud. I get that. Justin Fields is a different animal. Because that's why they're relevant. That's why they're in the news. That's why they're making headlines. Because it's all about what they want to do with the number one pick. Do we keep Justin Fields or do we let him go, move him out of the way so we can draft Caleb Williams out of USC with the number one overall pick, blah, 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 blah. I got it. But before I get into Justin Fields, let me point this out. When I think about Justin Fields, when the name Justin Fields pops into my head, I have to confess, there is a smile that comes over my face. And you know the reason for that is? You know what the reason for that is? It's because of First Take on ESPN from last season with my man Ryan Clark from The Pivot and the one and only Michael, the playmaker, Irvin, on First Take. If you don't remember, take a look at this.
And get on my top playmaker.
Calm down, RC.
But I gotta give it to him.
Don't be hyped.
Justin Fields.
Shut up!
Justin Fields. I gotta give it to him.
But they say he can't play.
They say he can't play.
They say they gotta get a new quarterback.
They say they gotta get a new
They
quarterback.
should have drafted somebody else.
They say get somebody else.
What they gonna do now?
What they gonna do now? Justin Fields, 178 yards. What
Is that a record?
That's a record. Oh, not just 178 yards, was it? Because we knew he had the leg.
We knew he could do that. We knew he could do
But
that.
we didn't think he had the arm.
He didn't throw three times.
Three TDs. Justin Fields. Keep him spinning. And breaking records, baby. Keep him spinning and breaking records, baby. Keep him spinning and breaking records, baby. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Molly, take it over.
Keep him spinning and breaking records, baby. Keep him spinning and breaking records, baby.
I'm sorry, y'all. I work on the show every day. Everybody know that's my day job. Number one morning sports show in America for the last 12 years and counting, by the way. Thank you very much. The point is, as much as I love the show, I have to admit, nothing makes me laugh about the show more than that segment. That's why I had to play it for y'all. But I digress. Let me get back to Justin Fields himself. 11th overall pick, 2021. A man the New York Jets stupidly passed up on to draft Zach Wilson. He is just 10-27 as a starter. In 12 games this year, 16 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. He's completed 61% of his passes, which is an improvement from 11 interceptions last year, completed just 60.4% of his passes. Career totals 6,526 yards as a Chicago Bears starting quarterback, 40 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. The Chicago Bears could have drafted Micah Parsons, you know. He went 12th. He's the very next pick by the Dallas Cowboys. They could have drafted Amon-Ra St. Brown, who went 112, but I'm not going to knock them for that because you needed a quarterback. Because these are the Chicago Bears that we're talking about here. And the last time they've had a quarterback worth noting was Jim McMahon in 1985. Indeed, it has been that bad. When we think about Caleb Williams out of USC, 1 season at Oklahoma, 2 at USC, he's thrown for over 10,000 yards, 10,082 to be exact. He's completed 66.9% of his passes. He's thrown 93 touchdowns, just 14 interceptions, okay? Rushing for 27 touchdowns and 960 yards. I have a simple question. Is he better than Justin Fields? If Caleb Williams is better than Justin Fields, if you're the Chicago Bears, you got to take Caleb Williams. Because you ain't had a quarterback. And because we've learned that in the sport of the National Football League, I don't give a shit what you have. If you don't have a quarterback, you're toast. We just have to remember that. And just to put up some stats, because I've had my researchers look this up. Justin Fields, this is the bad part. He has 1 or 0 touchdown passes in 10 of his 12 starts this season. Did you know that? 10 of his 12 starts, he's had 1 or 0 touchdown passes. Remember, he had 4 touchdown passes in back-to-back games in October. Since that time, I've given you the numbers. By the way, in the first 3 quarters For this season, first 3 quarters, he's completed 64% of his passes, 13 touchdown passes, just 3 interceptions. But in the fourth quarter of games, it dips to 52% from 64%. The touchdown passes dip from 13 to 3 touchdown passes. The interceptions double from 3 to 6. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't give a shit what you have. If you don't have a quarterback in the National Football League, you ain't winning. It's just that simple. Ask Atlanta. Ask Tennessee. I'm talking Ryan Tannehill, not his replacement. Ask. Ask the Broncos. Ask the Raiders. Ask the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ask them. Ask them. I mean, the situation in Pittsburgh was so bad, we sitting there praising Mason Rudolph. Do you know why we're praising Mason Rudolph? Because after spending the first 14 games of the season, having not scored 30 points in a game, Steelers scored 30 points or more over the last 2. People actually talk about how Mike Tomlin need to go. Knowing good and damn well, the only thing he's done wrong is not find a quarterback. That's it. That's it. How's New Orleans look since Drew Brees left? How the New York Giants looking with Daniel Jones as his quarterback? Before he got hurt and had to rely on Tyrod Taylor before he got hurt. And then they went to some dude named Tommy DeVito. Quarterbacks matter. If you're Chicago, you could get something for Justin Fields. You know what you can't get? Caleb Williams. If he's better, take him. And send Justin Fields to the Jets. Or the Steelers. Or the Raiders. Or the Giants. Or the Falcons. Send him somewhere. It'll be better than Chicago. And Ryan Poles, the GM, I'm not blaming you because it ain't your fault. You weren't there. You didn't pick the coach or the quarterback. But it's time to stamp your signature on this franchise. And it can't be with somebody else's selection. It's got to be with your own. If you think I'm lying, it's not just about quarterbacks. It's about everything. Because the quality of play in the National Football League has been lamented for quite some time. So if the quality of play overall has been lamented and people have been complaining about that, imagine how it is if you're not considered to be a great quarterback. Not a great quarterback in a league surrounded with people that others don't necessarily consider great. Not just the players, but the coaches themselves, not great. And you still can't find a way to be effective? I'm sorry, we got to go in a different direction. If you don't believe me, listen to what somebody had to say. Somebody that would know a hell of a lot more about this than me. Somebody that wasn't talking about Justin Fields specifically. But if you listen to his point, I think you'll get it. Primarily because the point is coming from a 7-time champion who happened to play the quarterback position. Take a listen.
Winning football games in the NFL is hard. And there's I think there's a lot of mediocrity in today's NFL. Yeah. I don't see the excellence that I saw in the past.
Why not? Why not? Why do you think that is?
I think the coaching isn't as good as it was. I don't think the development of young players is as good as it was. I don't think the schemes are as good as they were. I think the rules have allowed a lot of bad habits to get into the actual performance of the game. Mm-hmm. So I just think the product, in my opinion, is less than what it's been. I think guys are competitive. Guys play hard.
There you have it. Now, again, Tom Brady was talking in general. But I'm accentuating his point to highlight Justin Fields. What do they say about Justin Fields right now? You know what they say? Talented, but holds on to the ball a little bit too long. Doesn't go through his progressions quick enough. And then I look at some of these stats. Since joining the league in 2021, Fields is last among 38 qualified quarterbacks in fourth quarter interceptions with 16, 36th in completion percentage with 56.2, and 33rd in QBR with 41.4. Okay. Conversely, his touchdown interception ratio of 4.3 in the first 3 quarters of the season is the NFL's 4th best among 35 qualified quarterbacks. So he shows up in quarters 1 through 3. And then when the fourth quarter arrives and palms get sweaty and asses get tight, all of a sudden, the brother's struggling. Okay, let's take this a step further. In terms of evaluators around the league watching Fields, what are they noticing? Like I said, tendency to hold on to the ball too long from the pocket, failing to see routes develop. Justin Fields is last in the league among 31 qualified quarterbacks in average times per pass at 3.23 seconds in 2023, and last among 38 qualified quarterbacks in that metric since entering the league with 3.10 seconds. In 37 career starts, Fields has surpassed 225 passing yards 6 times. 6 out of 37. And oh, by the way, 18 NFL starters average at least 230 yards per game this season. Come on, y'all. I'm not throwing shade on Justin Fields. I gave facts. I gave numbers. And I'm not even saying it's his fault because I don't think he has the right coach. I don't think he's in the right system. I don't think he's playing in the right city. I don't think Chicago's for him. I think he needs to go somewhere else. That's what I think. And the numbers don't lie. 888-SAS-5303. That's 888-727-5303. I'm not taking any calls, just your tweets, your messages, that kind of thing going on right now. But please understand that, in the future, probably Friday when I'm back in my studios, I'll definitely address this stuff then. Before I go to break, however, I want to address a story that hits home, but not for reasons you think. It involves Mr. Pat McAfee, my colleague at ESPN. Quite honestly, friend, I think he's a good dude. Black-white relations, a lot of times people, they fake the funk and all of that other stuff, and you get along with some people, you don't get along with others, and all of that stuff, you're different, and all of this, content of character matters most. And what I like about Pat McAfee, so much noise came in his direction when he first arrived at Disney. And people were making a lot of noise about what he was worth and all of this other stuff, not seeing the big picture. And the big picture was that he had his own brand. He had his own show that he ran, that he created, that he developed. And you simply bought his product, not employed him, which a lot of businesses are doing in this day and age. That's why you see people with podcasts, why you see people trying to develop podcast networks, why you see people trying to sell it off to the highest bidder and stuff like that so they can generate money and stuff like that. Y'all don't bring up Bill Simmons. Spotify bought him for $250 million. The Ringer. It was genius what Bill Simmons did. Don't hate. Emulate. So there's no shade that's being thrown on anybody. But what I wanted to get to about Pat McAfee's a real one, y'all. For better or worse, whether you like him or not, he's a real one. I love him because he's not about bullshit. Whatever he says to you, he'll tell you to your face. He ain't shy. He ain't scared. He stands on his, and I respect that. I really, really do. But his show got itself in a touch of controversy because Aaron Rodgers came on the show. And if y'all remember that whole controversy several years ago involving Hollywood producing mogul Mr. Jeffrey Epstein, who's now deceased after committing suicide in jail years ago, knowing that he was going to probably spend the rest of his life in prison because of sexually assaulting numerous women, and Lord knows what else he's done. Well, for years, there's been reports and people have been pursuing the courts because they want a list of people that Jeffrey Epstein may have been associated with because somehow, some way it may incriminate them in some capacity. Long story short, Aaron Rodgers goes on Pat McAfee's show, weekly, by the way. And in this particular situation, which was yesterday, he basically talked about how, Jimmy Kimmel, the great Jimmy Kimmel, late night host Jimmy Kimmel, wasn't looking forward to the list. And I'm trying to look for the quote right in front of me. I had it right in front of me, so I apologize if I don't have it at this particular moment. I'm trying to find that, but essentially, Aaron Rodgers said something, to be quite honest, that he should not have said. And before I go any further into this particular topic, let me first let you all hear Pat McAfee a day later responding to the whole brouhaha Aaron Rodgers' appearance on his show and his words about Jimmy Kimmel may have created. Take a listen to this.
But I can see exactly why Jimmy Kimmel felt the way he felt, especially with his position. But I think Aaron was just trying to talk shit. Now, did it go too far? And a lot of people, Jimmy Kimmel certainly said that was the case. We and I immediately upon it happening, trying to be like, ooh, you know. But that is Aaron and Jimmy. They've been
jousting a bit.
I don't know, you know? So, like, we obviously don't like the fact that we're associated with anything negative ever. We like our show to be an uplifting one, a happy one, a fun one, but it's because we talk shit and try to make light of everything. Some things, obviously, people get very pissed off about, especially when they're that serious allegations. So we apologize for being a part of it. Can't wait to hear what Aaron has to say about it. Hopefully those two will just be able to settle this.
First things first. I can applaud Pat McAfee for apologizing, but let me be the first to say, he didn't need to. He didn't do anything wrong. It's his show. The show is live. He didn't know what Aaron Rodgers was going to say. So let's get that out the way. Number two, it's appropriate and important that we display Jimmy Kimmel's response because he responded pretty strongly on X, formerly known as Twitter, by stating that, quote, he has never had any contact whatsoever with Epstein. And he went into it further, calling Rodgers and others who believe otherwise soft-brained wackos, and actually warned Aaron Rodgers about potential legal action. Jimmy Kimmel goes on to say, your reckless words put my family in danger. Keep it up, and we will debate the facts further in court. Jimmy Kimmel is a comedian. He's a funny man. He's exceptional at what he does. I admire him. I once subbed for him on his show in August of 2021, one of the proudest moments of my career. And I do feel like Pat McAfee hit the nail on the head when he said that Aaron Rodgers was just taking a dig at him. He was joking around. He wasn't necessarily serious about such a thing because obviously him and Jimmy Kimmel have had a back and forth because Kimmel has said things about Aaron Rodgers in the past, purportedly. But let me say this to Aaron Rodgers. Jeffrey Epstein there's nothing to joke about. I love Aaron Rodgers. Everybody knows he's a bad man. You know me. But Aaron Rodgers should apologize. Plain and simple. Just uncomplicate the situation by saying, even if you don't like Jimmy Kimmel, say that too. Look, I don't like him. Okay? And I was taking a dig at him, but clearly that went too far. I crossed the line, and that is not something I should be saying about any human being who's not guilty of such a thing. Period. That's it. See, in this world, we got people that's scared to apologize if you're wrong because it incriminates you somehow, some way to be exposing yourself for being wrong. Damn all that. We're human beings first. If I said something egregiously wrong about somebody and they point out factually that I'm wrong, I'd apologize. In this particular situation, I don't have to. I don't have to know the facts. The fact that I don't know the facts, period, would have been enough for me not to even utter such a thing. And that's certainly not something to joke about, considering the litany of bodies, both physically, emotionally, psychologically, that Jeffrey Epstein did damage to. I'm one of those people that wish he was still alive. Listen, let me tell you something. Death is too good for you. When you've inflicted suffering upon other human beings, innocent human beings, I think death is the easy way out. That's just my personal opinion. I think you should be alive and kept to suffer the consequences of your actions when you intentionally did harm to other human beings, especially like Jeffrey Epstein did. But in the end, you're Aaron Rodgers. You don't joke about something like that. You certainly don't utter it out of your mouth to incriminate somebody else devoid of any facts whatsoever to support such a thing. And Jimmy Kimmel was right to react the way that he did. But this is not on Pat McAfee. Yes, Aaron Rodgers is a weekly guest, but he's a guest on his show. When a guest comes on your show and it's live, not taped, and you don't know what the hell they're going to say, what the hell are you supposed to do once they say it? All you can do is move on, and you can choose to address the subject by distancing yourself from it. Move forward. That's it. This is about Aaron Rodgers and Jimmy Kimmel. This ain't about Pat McAfee. That's my real point in saying all of this, other than Aaron Rodgers, who I love and I think is a good dude. Just apologize, bro. That's not something you should have done. Plain and simple. 888-SAS-5303. That's 888-727-5303. You're listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show over the digital airwaves of YouTube. Back with some more commentary. I told you I had something very, very interesting to tell you why the Golden State Warriors may not be missed when all is said and done. What the hell am I talking about? Well, stick around to find out. And you will. You're listening to the Stephen A. Smith Show right here on YouTube. Welcome back to the Stephen A. Smith Show, coming at you as I love to do over the digital airwaves of YouTube at the very least 3 days a week. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Sometimes I add days. Sometimes I miss a day because I'm traveling, and then I'll come back and make up that day. That's just what I like to do. The number to call up, as always, usually when I'm in studio, that is 888-SAS-5303. That's 888-727-5303. I like to give it to you even on days when I'm not taking calls. I'm only taking tweets, because when I'm in studio, I want you to know the number to call in, because I love receiving y'all phone calls. So I just want you to know that. As always, I never fail to remind y'all, make sure you get a copy of my book, Straight Shooter, memoir of second chances and first takes. Not only was it in hardcover, not only is it a bestseller, but now it's in paperback. So you can go to straightshooterbook.com to make sure you get a copy of my book. Anyway, before I move on to a couple of NBA items and then get into some pop culture and entertainment stuff involving Cardi B, Offset, and I don't know if y'all saw Sports Illustrated's new unveiling. Wait till you see that list, because I got it for you. I got something for you. I'd be remiss. I hesitated to bring this up, but I felt obligated, particularly after talking with my team, to let y'all know exactly what Jimmy Kimmel was so pissed off about. I know I paraphrased what Aaron Rodgers had said, but here's exactly what he said to Pat McAfee. There's a lot of people, including Jimmy Kimmel, who are really hoping that doesn't come out, Rodgers said about Jeffrey Epstein's list. He said, I'll tell you what, if that list comes out, I'll definitely will be popping some sort of bottle. That's what Aaron Rodgers said that ticked off Jimmy Kimmel to no end. So that was about it. By the way, Jeffrey Epstein, I mistakenly said he was a producer. He was a financier, very, very popular amongst a few folks who will remain nameless but are public figures, because we certainly don't want to incriminate them unnecessarily. Maybe Aaron Rodgers should take notes from me in that regard. Anyway, moving on. I told y'all that the Golden State Warriors, oh, by the way, I'm sorry, because I like to be a team player with my producers. Ryan Poles was hired and he okayed Eberflus. He was hired 24 hours before Eberflus arrived. Okay? It was probably a part of him getting the damn job to say that he was okay with it. If ownership says this is the coach we got coming in, are you going to have a problem with that if we give you this GM job and you're a black man that wants the GM job? What are you going to say? No? You don't like it? You're going to go with the flow. Just like Mike McCarthy lied, affectionately, I might add, to get the Cowboys job. Poles probably lied too. He ain't pick no damn Eberflus. I don't care what he says. Okay? And that's just the way it goes. But it is what it is. Technically speaking, he arrived the day before Eberflus. Now, let me move back on to my NBA stuff. Look, the Golden State Warriors, I will miss them if they're not in the postseason. But I have to confess to you right now, over these digital airwaves, by saying this to you. I won't miss them as much as I normally would if the team that replaces them is the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to keep in mind that I'm just a few days removed from telling you to watch out for the Clippers. Because the Clippers are no joke. Kawhi Leonard's a two-time champion. Paul George is a perennial all-star and starving for a championship. Russell Westbrook, James Harden, they got a lot to prove. Ty Lue is one of the exceptional coaches in basketball. You know where I stand. Did you know that the Oklahoma City Thunder got the second best record in the Western Conference? Did you know that they've won 5 straight in 8 of their last 9 games? Did you know that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA, is a superstar in the making, if not one who has already arrived, who also happens to be the 3rd leading scorer in the league, averaging over 31 points per game? Did you know that Chet Holmgren is my leading candidate for Rookie of the Year? It ain't Victor Wembanyama. I mean, when you look at their numbers, it's relatively comparable. You know what's not comparable? How many wins Oklahoma City has compared to San Antonio. See, we didn't talk about San Antonio that much and how poor they looked because there was somebody that was worse named the Detroit Pistons who had lost 28 straight. But San Antonio had lost like 16, 17 straight. They were horrible. Horrible. Now, I know Wembanyama's not. Vassell's not. But overall, collectively, they just ain't that damn impressive. Oklahoma City Thunder, complete opposite. These brothers can ball. These brothers can ball, y'all. This run, 8 of their last 9 games, 5 straight. They beat the reigning defending champion Denver Nuggets twice, including blowing them out by 26 on the road. Did you know that? Did you know that they were the ones who snapped the Clippers' 9-game winning streak? Did you know that? Did you know that they also blew out the team with the best record in the Western Conference, the Minnesota Timberwolves? Did you know that? Because I did. Did you know that last night they just beat the best team in basketball, the Boston Celtics? Did you know that? Because I did. See, this is what I'm talking about. And this is the kind of stuff that you got to pay attention to because we can't continue to walk around and ignore. I apologize to Oklahoma City Thunder. And I'm going to try to get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to be a guest on this show. I'm going to reach out to him soon because the brother is special. He's only 25 years of age. It is time we pay attention to this man. Let's not forget Jalen Williams either. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is 25 years of age. Jalen Williams is 22. Chet Holmgren is 21. Lou Dort, he's 24. Giddey, who's been in the news for different reasons, allegedly messing with some underage girl, he's only 21 years of age. I'm looking at these brothers right now. A top 5 offense in the game of basketball. They're 23-9 on the season. And I'm looking at them right now. And who have those victories been against over the last 5 games? Minnesota, the Knicks, the Nuggets, back-to-back wins over the Brooklyn Nets. They've beaten the Clippers. They've beaten the Nuggets again, like I said. They lost to Sacramento on December 14th, but they've beaten Golden State. They've beaten Utah. They've beaten Dallas. They've beaten the Lakers. They've beaten, again, the Warriors. I think they've beaten the Warriors all 3 times they faced them this year. They've beaten Kevin Durant and the Phoenix Suns. They've beaten Donovan Mitchell in Cleveland. They've beaten Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks. Actually, Golden State beat them once earlier this season. They've beaten, of course, the Detroit Pistons. Everybody has. They've beaten the Cleveland Cavaliers. Look, they're not going away. And if those young brothers continue to play the way that they're playing, it's going to be very exciting. If Rudy Gobert can do something productive in the postseason, Minnesota's going to be a team to be reckoned with. What about KD? He didn't play the other night, but Bradley Beal did, and Phoenix won. And by the way, the Phoenix Suns have been playing better. They're 3 games above 500. They're 18-15 on the season. They've won 4 straight. I'm very happy about that because they were looking like trash about a week ago. And I said that on Christmas Day, the day they lost to Dallas. And ever since then, they haven't lost a game. More power to them. We'll see what they do. But when you got Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker, you better do something. Oklahoma City's threatening to stand in everybody's damn way. I know they're youthful. I know they don't have the experience. But I'm not sleeping on these brothers. And I just want to say that. I'll tell you, though, Shaquille O'Neal is sleeping on somebody. And he's sleeping on somebody on the Oklahoma City Thunder. You don't believe me? Take a look.
He posted a picture, I guess somebody else, because Shaq loves posting this. And it was a picture of Chet and Victor Wembanyama, and it was, these are the big men today. Let me ask you, D, what would Shaq's stat line be if he was up against Chet, who is phenomenal?
Don't do that.
He's really good.
Don't do that.
Fine. How would it be against Chet or
do
Victor?
Not do
what would
that.
the stat line be?
Do not.
I mean, he would.
I hate when y'all do that.
Which part? The saying he's great?
No, y'all throwing around words that we had to work hard for. Phenomenal is not the right word.
He's really promising.
Thank you. He's good, but don't be going promising and great and future Hall of Famer.
I'm not saying that.
You know what? Starting today,
Shaq
hold on.
against the Chet Holmgren.
Starting today, I'm putting an end to all that shit. I am. Starting today.
Amen. First of all, can y'all do me a favor, please? Just a little guess here. Chet Holmgren and Victor Wembanyama together don't weigh as much as Shaq. What kind of a question is what would Shaq have averaged against them? First of all, any coach worth his salt wouldn't even put them in the vicinity, the same vicinity as Shaq. You ever watch Shaq put his ass on somebody in the post? Drop step, swing his elbows? Could you imagine what would happen to Wembanyama or Chet Holmgren if they were the ones defending a Shaquille O'Neal in the post area? Ask Dudley. Remember Dudley? The big boy Dudley, and Shaq dumped on him and put his crouch in his face. And he threw a pass at Dudley. Remember that? How many people have Shaq dunked on and abused? David Robinson still ain't recovered. This is Shaquille O'Neal we're talking about. And you're talking about dudes who are very talented, that got a bright future. I love both of their potentials as players. But they make me look like Dwayne Johnson. You ever see how skinny these brothers are? And you're going to ask them, what would Shaq do? Adam Lefkoe, who, by the way, does great work, like him. But come on, what a question. You can't. What would Shaq average against them? By weight alone, they're babies. They're toddlers compared to Shaq. Why don't you just ask a toddler? What would you do against a toddler? Because that's what they would be against Shaq. Because of his girth alone. So can we stop that? As to his point, I appreciate where he's coming from because all he's saying is you got to earn it. This is your first season. Chet Holmgren was drafted a year earlier than Wembanyama, but he was hurt all of last year after getting hurt in that summer league stuff in Seattle with Jamal Crawford. And his boy, Jamal Crawford, that's my nickname for him, is AN1. I love that brother. And by the way, he's doing a good job on television too. I like Jamal Crawford a lot as a person and as a basketball player and as a basketball analyst. But having said all of that, Chet Holmgren, 17.6 points, 54% shooting, 7.6 rebounds. Victor Wembanyama, 18.9 points, 44% shooting, not 54%, 10.2 rebounds. Here's the difference. The San Antonio Spurs are a long way away from being credible. Chet Holmgren looks like he's on a team that could challenge for the title. And he's still putting up 17 and 7 on 54% shooting. That's my rookie of the year right now. That's my rookie of the year. 888-SAS-5303. That's 888-727-5303. The Stephen A. Smith Show over the digital airwaves of YouTube is what you're listening to. Back with more swimsuit issues, Cardi B, Offset, and who knows what the hell else I'll touch on. You never know with me because text messages or tweets rather are coming up next too. Stick around, don't touch that dial. It's your boy Stephen A. in the house. Right back with more in a minute. Welcome back to Stephen A. Smith Show right here over the digital airwaves of YouTube. Thanking you again for continuing to contribute to the fan base that continues to grow every single day over these channels. 446,000 subscribers and counting. I'm on the road studio in Los Angeles, California. immaculate as it is, it's not my home studio back east. So I'll be back there Friday, where I will be taking your phone calls again at 888-SAS-5303. That's 888-727-5303. For now, I'll just take your tweets and respond to that, but not before I get into a couple of things. Number one would be Cardi B. Lord have mercy. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not trying to be insulting or anything like that. To each his own. I think she's a gorgeous woman. She's accomplished a lot. She's got a great fan base and all of this other stuff. But if I'm going to say it about Jada Pinkett Smith, if I'm going to say it about Joe Smith's wife, Mr. OnlyFans aspiring model or whatever the hell it is, if I'm going to say something like that, then don't I need to say something about this? Because along the way, the message is the same. It's not denigrating them. It's simply asking a question. Must you tell everyone your business? So what's the latest with Cardi B? Literally just a few days ago, about a week ago or so, we saw her literally screaming on her Instagram page about Offset and how he was this no good MFer and, and she tolerated so much, she put up with so much shit and blah, 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 and screaming to her followers that I think exceeds over 128 million, if I remember correctly, something along those lines. Well, she was spotted out New Year's Eve. Her and her husband of 7 years, Mr. Offset himself. To say their marriage is tumultuous is an understatement, but that's only because she tells. I don't recall seeing him tell their business, but she does. They go back and forth. Nothing new there. That happens with everybody, whether you're married or not, in relationships. They were seen acting very much like a couple while partying in Miami for the new year at a popular strip club. So Cardi B saw all the mutterings and what have you and felt the need to clear up the relationship status after social media started buzzing about their relationship status. So here's what she said, according to People, I believe, via People. Is that People magazine? I think that's People magazine, okay? Quote, I want to be clear to you guys because you guys are making your assumptions and I just wanted you to hear it from the horse's mouth. Was I clubbing with my baby father yesterday? Yes. Did I get dick down yesterday? Absolutely, baby. Really? Really? So, you're married, and even though y'all have been on and off and separated, you felt the need to tell the world you got some of the D from your husband? Really? Really? I mean, what are we talking about here? I would hope you did. He is your husband. Care whether y'all separated or not. That's your husband. For better or worse. For richer or poorer. Through sickness and in health. Till death do you part. Wow, you got some dick from that person. I mean, stop the presses. Really? Really? That's why? And why am I getting on you, Cardi B? Because I respect you. Because you're great. And I'm a fan. But here's what I'm saying. You were crying weeks ago. Telling the world your business. You're inviting them into your business. I'm not talking about writing a book about something that happened many years ago. Hell, I did that. I'm talking about in real time. Essentially, all you did was tell the public, well, we still separated, but I got some on New Year's Eve from him. That's all you did. Well, if we saw you with your husband on New Year's Eve, why wouldn't we think that happened? Why would you feel the need to tell that? Because what you're missing is you're inviting folks to get even more into your business. And like you said, your privacy, you need a break. I've never seen a public figure that at some point, a moment in time, hasn't asked for privacy. Why should they give it to you? When you keep giving them this, why should they keep doing that? Offset's not doing this. He is not violating y'all privacy. And maybe the word violating is too strong because maybe he's okay with you doing it. I don't know, either one of y'all. I know I respect the hell out of both of y'all for accomplishing the things that you've accomplished in life. But my God, really, you have to tell your business? Could you stop it? Seriously, could you stop it? I mean, this is, if you told, let me put it to you this way. If you told something this simplistic, this predictable, this ordinary, if that's something you're willing to go out and spread to the masses via People magazine or anything else, you have now said nothing's off limits. I will talk about anything. And I have no elements of privacy in my life. It's completely unnecessary. That's all I'm saying. It's his business and your business. We don't need to know y'all getting down. Y'all are married, right? We assume you are. Been married 7 years, right? To me, it's news if you ain't getting down. Not if you are. I mean, Jesus. Seriously. Let's move on to a different subject here because Sports Illustrated unveiled an inspiring new swimsuit models issue. Now, I didn't expect it to be inspiring because the list was for 57-year-olds. Now I'm going to pay attention to it because I'm 56. I'm 56, okay? But people will point out, I shouldn't say the list was for 57 years old. I apologize for that. That's a correction. It's not that the list was 57-year-olds. It's that because somebody on the list was 57, it provoked people like myself to look for some 57-year-olds who are modeling anything and to draw comparisons because obviously I have two eyes. And for the most part, 20/20 vision. And there's a woman by the name of a doctor, I should say, by the name of Nina Cash. She's a retired educator. And she's lighting up social media. Before she tried her hand at modeling, she worked at the university system as an associate dean, holding positions at California State University, Long Beach, and Cal State University in Los Angeles. Currently, she's consulting at Cal State Fullerton University. She lives in Long Beach with her husband, is a mother of 3 daughters. You looking at this woman? I mean, are you looking at this woman? Not bad. But that got me to thinking. You know, because I mean, I can't front. Eric Bonet was an inspiring source for me. Eric Bonet. I mean, Lenny Kravitz. I think it's Lenny Kravitz. I'm pretty sure it's Lenny Kravitz, okay? If it's Eric Bonet, I apologize. But I think it's Lenny Kravitz. When the brother was rolling out with the 6-pack at age 59, ladies and gentlemen, that's a source of inspiration for me. I'm just saying. I'm being real about it. But anyway, back to the point at hand. So I said, with the female spot, who's inspiring at 57 years of age since Dr. Nina Cash was? And I came up with 2 people that I dare say were relatively inspiring. Selma Hayek. Put that up right there. That's not bad, y'all. 57 years of age. That's not bad. And by the way, not that all things that are fake are bad, because that is not true. But when it's real and authentic, or at least appears to be that way, as dare I say some of her assets appear to be, it's very inspiring. Should be. There's a lot of women out there. Way to go, Selma. You go, girl. Having said that, at age 57, she ain't number one on my list. Not after I saw what I saw. Hold on. Let me just brace myself. Let me just get it together. I got to put on my glasses for this guy. I got to see this better. Halle Berry. Put that up there. Put it up there. Damn. In case y'all wondering why I said damn, I was watching Martin Lawrence the other day, and you remember the episode where Alan Payne. I think it's Alan Payne's name. He said, "My name is Reverend Lonnie Love." You know, if they remember him, yeah, Leon Lonnie Love. You understand? Damn this my eyes from Martin. That one. That's Halle Berry right there. Bringing in the New Year's in an elevator with lingerie under a suit jacket. Damn. 57. Most 27-year-olds don't look that damn good. Just a point I felt the need to make. It was necessary. Let us move on. Congratulations to the ladies. Way to be inspiring. To a lot of ladies out there, you in your 30s, you know you got competition. You in your 40s, you know you got to do your thing. You in your 50s, the clock, it could tick all it want to. It ain't affecting you. Beauty is not just in the eye of the beholder. Beauty comes in a variety of forms, subject to interpretation by a multitude of people, which means no matter how old you get, there's always somebody for you. There's always somebody for you. 888 SAS 5303. That's 888-727-5303. To the tweets before I get on out of here for the day. Let's get right to it. Somebody writes, Stephen A. Let me put on my glasses again. You know, I am getting a little older. You know what I'm saying? I can still read it, but I got to read from a distance, and I can read my glasses up closer. Stephen A. This is from @NEJ_Forever21 writes, if Stephen A. signed a 1-week contract to be a commissioner for any sports league, 1, which sports league would it be? And 2, what are the 3 changes you would implement in order to improve that said league? I would say to you, I'd be the commissioner of the National Football League because it's number 1 and it prints money, which means I will never be broke. Number 2, what are the 3 changes I would implement? I'd eradicate penalties for celebrations as long as they weren't too long. I'd eradicate that. That's number 1. Number 2, I don't like when these holding penalties, some of them, equate to automatic first downs. If I got you on a 4th down and 10, and I commit pass interference that's stopping you from catching the ball, how come you can't make it a 4th and 5 and you got to go out there and get another crack at it? Why should you be granted a straight up first down? You should have to work for it. And an official can assist it because sometimes these guys put on active performances and they get away with calls that they may not have deserved. So I would worry about that. That's another rule that I would pay attention to that I would in all likelihood get rid of. Number 3, I don't like how much the quarterback is protected. I'm all down for eradicating the headshots to the quarterback. I get that part. But in the same breath, if you're chasing after a quarterback, full speed, full momentum, and the quarterback unleashes the football and you just push him, come on, y'all. That's a bit excessive in terms of protecting the quarterback. I would be against that. I hope that answers your question. Next one, at PNW Bills Mafia. Blue cheese or ranch for buffalo wings? Blue cheese all day. Blue cheese. Blue cheese. That's an easy one. Easy one right there. At Sweet Lou 152. Right, Stephen A., legacy aside, better basketball player, Steph Curry or Kobe Bryant? I have to go with Kobe because Kobe could take you inside or out. And Kobe was an all-world defender in his prime, which Steph never was. Now, Steph is the greatest shooter God ever created, which puts him in a conversation in terms of impact from the point guard position with him and Magic Johnson, because Magic Johnson is the greatest quintessential point guard who ever lived. But Steph Curry, you got to keep your head on a swivel because this brother is running around all day, running through picks and screens and all of this other stuff. And on top of it all, he could pull up from 40. So I get it for anybody that says Steph, I would too. But you got to defend as well. And he wasn't that. So I can't just say that. I'd still rather have Steph because Steph would open things up for me better than Kobe would. But I can't sit there and say because of that he's better than Kobe Bryant was in Kobe Bryant's prime. I can't say that. Plus the game was tougher, more physical, and you couldn't get away with now what you could get away with then, which means Kobe had a tougher terrain to maneuver through. Last one, at OG Real Call. Right. How do I find a girl who won't cheat on me? You won't. They have to find you. Here's what I mean by that. If a woman wants to cheat, she's going to cheat. You can handle your business. You could have her speaking in tongues in 7 different languages. She still may turn around and elect to do something like that unless her character is against that. If she is a woman devoid of that kind of character, she don't mind cheating. And nothing you do is going to stop her. Because no matter how much you turn her out, it ain't going to stop her from fantasizing about the dude that she's attracted to and whether or not he could turn her out. Like you did. Unless her character says, that's my man and that's not something I'm about. You see, you got to remember something. Let me break this down to y'all once and for all. I shouldn't say once and for all because I know y'all going to come back with stuff for me and knowing my sisters, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for this because it's a male perspective that I'm going to provide. But I'm going to give it to you because I'm a man. Please understand something. I don't care if you rock a woman's world. Again, have her speaking in tongues in 7 different languages. She's going crazy. She loves you. Are you ready for what I'm about to say? And Sherry, just nod your head if I'm wrong. I don't care what she gets from her experience with you. She is going to walk away feeling she gave. Not gave. She is not going to walk away thinking about what she got from you more than what she feels about what she gave to you. That is why, ladies, men go crazy when a woman cheats on them. Some brothers can articulate this better than others. I am a man who was raised by 5 women. I got 9 nieces and nephews. Okay, 90% of my relatives were female. So I was prepared for all of this before I had 2 daughters. Listen to me and listen to what I'm saying to you. Ladies, when a man goes crazy because you've cheated on him, here's where that emanates from. We know, and again, Sherry, because she's the only woman in the room with me at this particular moment in time, just nod in affirmation. If I am wrong, I'll apologize right here over the digital airwaves of YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me. When you are a woman, you have convinced this man that he's it. We take that and we couple that with what we believe women to be, which is someone who is thinking about what they gave no matter what they're getting. So when you give of your body, we deem ourselves to be extra special because as women, you're not our trifling asses who would run around and try to be with every woman that we can be with, particularly when we're younger, because it's a badge of honor for us to be getting down like that. Y'all are not like that. So when y'all do it, it is devastating. A, because of his ego. B, because a part of his ego that has been compromised is the one who was fooled into believing you weren't capable of doing such a thing. And then after that, it's the fury because of the investment that he made into you because he believed that about you. If you came up to him and said, I don't want a man. I want to be promiscuous, but I don't mind hooking up with you from time to time. The brother ain't gonna have a problem with that. But you would never be his woman. His woman is the one who convinced him he is the only one for her. Now, why is it different for a woman? Because you could have a good man. You can love your man. You could know he loves you. You are always worried about him stepping out on you. Because we're men. And you assume the worst because at some point in time in our lives, we showed you the worst. Either directly or indirectly because of our species and how prevalent we are and in what we do. So there's a part of you that always has this sixth sense, this third eye, these senses of yours that are speculative about what we're capable of doing, which enables you to brace yourself for whatever transgressions we may, and you pray and hope that we don't commit. We, on the other hand, as men, can't fathom y'all doing that to us. I'm not talking about women. I mean your woman. The woman you've chosen, the woman you've invested in, the woman you love, the woman you take care of, the woman you strive to protect and provide for. That woman, you can't imagine she would do that to you. And when she does, the devastation kicks in like none other. And I say something else that a lot of people have not said. Are you ready for this? Because, Sherry, I'm going to break this down to you again. Did y'all know that I can make an argument, at least, that 90% of the men occupying prison cells in this country, if not this world, is because of a woman? What do I mean by that? The woman you're trying to impress. The woman you love, the woman you want to be or you want to be for. What dude do you know that strives for success, whether legally or illegally, in terms of getting funds and getting money and all of this other stuff, that does it for himself to go live quietly someplace else where nobody can see him? Any dude that's doing that is a brother that is trying to position himself to be more impressive to the woman he wants to impress or to women he wants to impress. That's all I mean by that statement, nothing else. I don't mean literally the woman's at fault for the guy being in jail. I'm saying the mentality to be impressive, to provide, to do those things. You don't want to do it just for yourself. You want to do it for your woman. I'm talking about heterosexual relationships, of course. I'm not speaking about homosexual and transgender relationships, all of that. I'm only talking about what I know, which is heterosexual relationships. That is what men do. So again, to answer the question, in terms of how can I, to make sure I quote the guy accurately here, how can I find a girl who won't cheat on me? You can't. They find you. And when they love, as Chris Rock would say, the crust of you. And they can't get enough of you. That's the woman that's loyal to you. Because there's no such thing as the word expendable when it comes to you. You are it. And you know something else, my brother? You never have to ask. You don't have to have conversations. You don't have to go back and forth with her. All you have to do is look at her. Look right into her eyes. When she talks to you, when she says hello to you, when she kisses you goodnight or kisses you to wake up the next day. When she's walking, going to the movies with you, going out to dinner with you, when she's holding your hands, when she's in the company of others. That, to me, is my greatest test. When I'm out, throughout my relationships, throughout my life, and to be fair, I'm not married. It's totally my fault because I was engaged twice and I cut it off. That's me. And I've had 3 different women propose to me in my lifetime. I am the person. I'm the reason I'm not married. But I will tell you something, and it's totally my fault. But I will tell you something. My favorite thing to do, and most men don't like doing this. I love doing this. I'm not interested in parties and all of that other stuff. But dinner, movies, all that stuff, all day, every day, I can do that. I love being out with a woman and everybody around because I'm looking directly at her. Because I don't care how fine you are. When you are out with the man you want, every man knows they cannot have you. They don't even have to approach you. They look right at you and they know better. When they think they got a shot, at least sometimes it's because they do. Which means she's going to cheat if she wants to. You just got to be man enough to tell her to kick rocks once you know. And to ask me that question, I would never look you in the face and tell you that throughout my life, no woman has ever cheated on me or whatever the case may be. I had one who did. I found out about it. She was canceled immediately. And any woman that's with me that wants to go and find somebody else, I tell my girls all the time, you found better, go get better. Ain't got nothing to do with how much I love her. It's about how much they love you. Because if you don't love me, or if she doesn't love you the way we want to be loved, it ain't going to work anyway. So the sooner it ends, the better. This is Stephen A. signing off. Until next time, everybody. Peace and love.